Before I continue, this video has spoilers about the new 2.0 quest, and if you have not played yet, you should probably give it a try. Greetings, Honkai Star 2.0 has been a blast, and Penacony has brought so much to the table, to the point where it feels like an actual dream. Coincidence?
I think not!
Well, now that greetings and pleasantries are done, let's move on to the new character that has skipped her way onto our screens. Everyone's brand new favorite racist gremlin, Sparkle. And now I get it, that's quite the thing to say about a character in a video game. Well, before anyone picks up any torches and pitchforks, let's visit this idea, shall we? In the Penacony storyline, there is a point where we do see Sparkle interact with a certain someone from the city, but I will not mention who it is, just for the sake of it. Okay, hold up, so quick thing. I did finish the story quite some time ago, so I went to look back at like someone's playthrough to figure out where she meets this person. Turns out I was wrong. So she didn't meet anyone early in the story. This literally happens in the middle of the story. This is the first time we see her, first time she talks to someone in the story, from our perspective, I guess. And after this conversation, she noticed that she's been followed. At this point, we do not know who it is, but she does quickly turn around, and after a quick pan of the camera, we notice that she was being followed by Aventurine. Now, we do meet Aventurine in the very beginning of the story, but we also have heard of him before from Topaz's Trailblazer quest. She does have a phone call at the very end, and there is some mention of Aventurine there, but I don't quite remember the rest of that conversation. Now back to this conversation that they have. At the very beginning, it's quite noticeable that Sparkle does not have any sort of liking for Aventurine, but there isn't any way to say that she has any liking for anyone at this point. But I will say she does not hold back to quickly point out his eyes. She does mention that she thinks they're pretty, but that's about the end of her pleasantries or niceties towards Aventurine.
To be more precise, it's been 45 minutes. Time sure flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Spare me. Beautiful eyes, though. Are you from Sigonia?
Need another hint? I'm an Avgin.
Now, fun fact, Avgin is a Romani word for honey. And funny thing, well, it's not really a funny thing, but the Romani people were widely despised back in the 13th to 14th century, from what I've read. And they're also considered, I guess, not considered, but I guess they were the origin of the term gypsy. And even though for a time it was like, a very derogatory slur, I think apparently at some point it was just used for a term of documentation. I can see why Hoyvos decided to take this approach when it came to Aventurine and his people, because it leads directly into this next part.
My eyes might not be as pretty as yours, but there's no problem with my vision. You Sigonians are notorious throughout the entire universe. Liars, thieves, social manipulators, wolves in sheep's clothing. You're really living up to the reputation. I say, you belong to the space under the manhole cover, not in a dream. There's one right over there.
Now, I guess we're all familiar with Sparkle being, a very, insane, batshit crazy character. But one of the best things about her is that she actually does sound like a bad person. And they don't hold back with this character, and it's just so visceral in the way she reacts to Aventurine. Just props to the writers. It's so good. And now, before I continue, I would just like to quickly outline a few definitions.
All pass.
Racism. Racism is discrimination and prejudice against people based on their race or ethnicity. Racism can be present in social actions, practices, or political systems that support the expression of prejudice or aversion in discriminatory practices. Now, I will not give the full definition because it's very long for this one. Prejudice. Preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. For example, prejudice against people from a different background. Now, last but not least, discrimination. The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity, age, sex, or disability. I apologize for having to drop an entire textbook in the middle of a video, but I felt that this This mere interaction literally just encompasses all that I've said. It's so good to the point where I think you could put this into a freaking textbook and it'll work. And I'll proceed to glaze up Hoyoverse. This is amazing, Hoyoverse. Keep doing this. Okay, now let's put a pause on Sparkle's reaction and or treatment of Venturine at this point, and appreciate that Venturine has a background that I guess hasn't been explored just yet, but I am excited to like hear and or see more of Venturine people, well, the Sigonian people or the Afghan. So much happens in this 4-minute interaction. It's insane. I'm personally hoping to hear more about Sparkle as well. Now back to the subject matter. Is Sparkle racist or not? Well, I would like to say yes, because it does match up with the definitions that I did mention before. Now, I do know that for some people, this interaction or like how I've described it might make some people uncomfortable, because racism can be a subject that has, you know, maybe lots of trauma attached to it or just unpleasantness with it. This might make people not want to see such characteristics being shown in video games and whatnot, especially a game like Honkai Star, where which people spend money to get the characters that they like, and for sure people will be pulling for this character and are definitely still pulling for her because her ban is already out at this point. But I will say, spending some money on a character in the game shouldn't, and I don't think it will have an effect on your moral as a person, but do as you may. Now, I personally do enjoy it when these tough subjects are tackled by a game, because on one hand it's very enclosed and it's quite easy and safe to have these aspects of life and of views of people, because we can view them and see them as bad or understand them in different ways. And well, in the sense of racism, like, you know, we understand that it's bad and how to avoid this kind of thinking moving forward. It doesn't only have to be racism, but there's so many subjects and so many games that tackle difficult, like sometimes taboo subjects. I'm looking at you, Andy and Lele. Is it Andy and Lele? I don't know. I haven't played it. I just heard stuff about it. No, I have said this countless times that I'm glazing Honkai Star Rail, but it has to be said. I'm having an amazing time and it feels good to be a player of this game. Listen to me becoming emotional. Why am I becoming emotional? I don't fucking know. But moving on. Now, before I end the video, there's a few last minute things I would like to mention. Venturine. Is he a homie or no? It's kinda hard not to want to trust someone who can bust a move like that, given the fact that Kalis and Venturine are sort of seen as dance partners in the 2.0 trailer. That's going to be amazing to see. The laughter. I know that Sparkle did mention that she did reach out to Venturine before to have him join her group or be the followers of AHA, and I would love to hear more about this. And last but not least, let us not forget Acheron. The fact that she's an emanator of an unknown Aeon opens so many questions, so many doors. What Aeon? How many Aeons are there? Are there a crap ton of Aeons? Is there a certain number? I don't think the name mentions that there's a limit to the amount of Aeons that they can be. I have no idea. All I know is I will be pulling. But wouldn't it be better to get Sparkle for your Imbibitor Lune? Shh, listen, I don't care. I already lost my 50-50 for Sparkle, and it's a sacrifice I'm 100% willing to take. A 50-50 lost means a character guarantee, said some guy somewhere. So how has your experience of Star Rail 2.0 been? Mine has been amazing, as you've seen. Let me know how yours has been. Like and subscribe, please leave a fun comment if you will. I do need it. But yes, good luck on your pulls. And thank you for watching once again. Have a nice day, evening, morning, whatever.
Past the night to trace the primal light. Let the clouds heal me of the sting.